You're watching Pulse, and this is episode 96. Time for this past week's World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at what seems to be the final touches being added to 4.2 on the PTR, Galban Mecha Talk, a World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy mashup, and much more. Let's get started. A few weeks ago, you might remember that as part of Blizzard Entertainment's 20th anniversary celebration, they announced the Memories of Blizzard video contest, in which Blizzard invited us, the community, to share our Blizzard game-related memories with them by sending in our creative and touching videos. Now, the submission deadline has passed. The submissions that were sent in were indeed both of those things, and Blizzard selected their favorites to go up on the contest page. The contest isn't over yet, though. We all can still play a role in shaping this memory by visiting the contest page and voting for our favorite videos. Winners could earn awesome prizes, including an all-expenses-paid trip to BlizzCon, keyboards, mice, headsets, and much more from Razer, SteelSeries, and Creative Labs, drinking vessels from Taverncraft, action figures from DC Direct, and even custom posters featuring your character from Print Warcraft. As it all did a few weeks ago, it still sounds really amazing. You can read more below, see those nominated entries, and cast your votes. Now, onto the Warcraft news. The biggest World of Warcraft news out there at the moment is still patch 4.2 and all that's coming with it. First up in the pretty long list of patch 4.2 news and changes, the patch 4.2 notes have been updated. Or, as Blizzard likes to say it, the patch 4.2 Public Test Realm Guide has been updated. If you were wondering, the notes were actually updated twice, with the last update being on the 14th of June. I have to mention, again, as I did last week, that the most recent versions of the patch notes have been marked as release. And PvP Season 9 is in fact ending soon, which all pretty much just means that the patch is coming soon. And yes, real soon. Not Blizzard soon. Some major changes to the patch notes included quite a few to Valor Points come 4.2. They're decreasing the amount we can gain per week, which is probably in preparation for tier 12 and wanting to at least somewhat cap the rate at which gear is gained. Blizzard even put a post up detailing all the changes that are set to happen, so if you want the official word on it, you know where to look. A few sites are mentioning, though, that Blizzard has quietly increased the amount of Valor Points earned from down in Tier 12 bosses. Those are the ones in Firelands in 4.2, and Okuthar, the new boss in Baradin Hold. Then players no longer incorrectly receive a message stating that they interrupted a spellcast when they did not. Action bars will no longer briefly disappear when characters that have a stance bar enter a vehicle, and a slightly more technical change. The Blizzard launcher now utilizes universal plug-and-play for port configuration. There were also the normal class balance changes and other bug fixes. But yeah, what can I say, the actual patch notes are not that fun this week. The main thing to note is that it just does seem like Blizzard is trying to get ready for the launch of the patch. These are the final touches. If you're interested in the full patch notes or just want to read a few blue posts relating to all the changes, you can do so below. Now for the interesting part, the patch 4.2 extras. For all those of you interested in what your characters will start looking like once they start wielding or equipping the items being introduced in 4.2, the official tier 12 previews have been updated once more, this time adding those final two classes armor sets, the Druid and the Warrior, both of which are looking quite epic indeed. MMO Champion have a pretty huge post up looking at the weapon models available in the Firelands raid, and for all those PvPers out there, they even have a look at the Season 10 PvP sets. A new language selection menu is now fully implemented and the game is now available in all localizations. All you need to do is select the language you want from the menu and restart the game. It's as simple as that. That's great news and will no doubt make things a lot easier for a lot of people out there. Then one more discovery that probably got a lot of the feral druid players out there salivating. Molten Cat Form. Pre-made druids on the PTRs are now equipped with Fandrel's Flamesith. This is from Major Domo's Staghelm, and players were given a chance to test the very interesting feature of this weapon. The druid automatically changes into a Firecat when in combat. Yes, it does look amazingly cool, and that is something few druids out there would part with easily. You can see the full video and read more about this interesting, if temporary, new form below. New items, pets, icons and spell changes were discovered, and then a Blizzard Blue poster had a bit to say on the proc of the new legendary staff, Dragonwrath. Dragonwrath is designed to be dot friendly. Simply put, it has a chance to copy each tick of a dot spell. There's no internal cooldown since they want it to be good for warlocks and shadow priests. Furthermore, the proc chance is adjusted favorably for pet specs that derive a significant portion of their DPS from pets. They say that their goal is to tune Dragonwrath in such a way that you can give it to any caster without anticipating certain classes or specs getting a bigger benefit than others. Lastly, there were a few changes made to the dungeon journal too. Nothing too huge, it just looks like Blizzard are trying to smooth absolutely everything out with the interface of this most useful of tools. That's it for the patch 4.2 extras, and as usual you can find all of those linked below. After long years of patiently enduring and biding their time under the hospitality of their dwarven allies, the gnomes have rallied for one final valiant attempt to reclaim their rightful home. They now face a battle against the twisted genius of a betrayer. One who is manically obsessed with ruling over the gnomish race, or destroying it entirely. With their allies hard pressed to survive in the aftermath of the cataclysm, the gnomes must rely upon their cunning, cleverness and courage to take back what is theirs. Leading this desperate charge is High Tinker Galban Mekatork, the brilliant and resourceful inventor who has guided the gnomes through their darkest hours. Now he stands on the razor's edge between personal vengeance and true leadership, to face a test that none of his calculations could have ever prepared him for. That does sound epic indeed. Blizzard Entertainment is proud to present the latest entry in the Leaders of Azeroth short story series, Cut Short. As with all the other Blizzard short stories, this one isn't really that short, and provides great insight into the events we sometimes overlook when plowing through the starting areas of the game. Anyway, if you're at all interested in a bit of a lore dose, check the story out below and enjoy. The voting for the Arena Pass weekly community challenge, Bravehearts, is now over and the community has made its choice. All the submissions were epic, as we saw last week, but the one from Manafloss convinced the most players and gained the majority of the votes, earning them 100 points. You can see their winning entry on your screens right now. Paragon came in second, winning themselves 80 points, while teams Battlecraft and WorldOfWar.de finished third and fourth respectively and earned 60 and 40 points respectively. Blizzard also just remind us to be sure to regularly check the current standings to see how our favorite teams are doing. And, well, haven't you heard? This week's 2011 Arena Pass Community Challenge is covering entertainment. And there are some great submissions from all the teams participating. You can, as always, see these entries below if you want to get involved and cast your vote. Remember to check back here next week for those winners. In this week's art updates, first up, we're taking a look at the latest additions to the World of Warcraft trading card game art gallery. 10 new pieces were added, and, well, there are some amazingly cool creations to look at here. You can see them all in full size below. Next up, the World of Warcraft fan art gallery has also been updated, this time with 5 new cute and cuddly pieces. Well, not all of them, but some. And yes, this is in fact my favorite you're looking at right now. Then last up in the art updates, we have the World of Warcraft art gallery. It's been updated with 4 new pieces representing the Warcraft universe. You may recognize some of these as covers of books you may or may not have read. See them in full size below. In our lonesome one and only video update in this episode, we have something we definitely don't see every day. World of Warcraft playing as Final Fantasy would. As peculiar as that sounds, it does look pretty cool. This video was featured by Kotaku and is amazingly well made and pretty entertaining to boot. Well worth checking out. I've also read that this is in fact a series and the guys who made it will be mashing more games together soon. Let's hope they include at least one Blizzard game every time. So keep checking back here soon for more and check the video out below. With that done, let's head on over to the World of Warcraft Smalls. In the Smalls this week, on the official site, you can check out Arena Pass, Tricks of the Trade. You can pick up the original World of Warcraft, no expansions included, for only €5. Players go on a spectral safari with the new class starter decks. And lastly on the official site, there's a poll up titled Diggin', Frying, bandaging and angling. Then Wowhead is looking for volunteers. You can check out 2 guides over at Wowhead, one called The Littlest Pet Shop, a guide to vanity pets, and then a patch 4.2 achievement guide for the new dailies. Then WoW Insider reports that Blizzard is teaming up with Mega Bloks for StarCraft and Warcraft sets. And lastly, the 3 latest WoW Movie Watch posts, Gammon Story 2, Ding, and Eternal Rose. All 3 of them are pretty well made and well worth checking out. With that done, let's head on over to the World of Warcraft Blue posts. The Blues had quite a bit to say this week on adding more PvP content, on war games, on feedback and changes to the community, on grindy leveling and improving old content, and lastly on poison management. That is, once again, all I have for you in the Warcraft news for this week. Thanks for watching, keep checking back here soon for more, but most importantly, happy Molten Cat form.